guys, what's up? It's Naomi the Crafty Savage, and I'm back for this week's Wip Chat. If you're new to diamond painting, WIP stands for work in progress, not you're gonna whip somebody. And chat is I'm just kind of gonna run my mouth, flap my gums, and tell you all about what happened this past week. Get you caught up in the life of me, right? Because sometimes it's interesting and sometimes it's plain boring, but it's been interesting, guys. So yeah, pull out whatever it is you're working on. If it's diamond painting, cross stitch, latch hook, crocheting, knitting, doing the dishes, vacuuming the floors, mopping the floor, I don't care. Just come along. I'll keep you entertained for about, I'd say maybe like an hour or so, right? So, but before we start, I do want to let you know what I'll be using. I will be using my Munimade tray. Love it. I will also be probably switching off between these two pens. I have my Nyxs Notions pen. It's got the metal tips. It's the bomb.com. I also have one of my Chroma diamond art pens, right? I love me some Chroma diamond art. Now let's see. I have my Heart of the Ocean cover minder. You can't see it over here, but off over here we have our scented, and our Heart of the Ocean cover minder comes from Shine Shop Designs. I have my Oh Snap Crafters Cafe scented cover minder in the scent of eggnog. Still going strong. There you go. Where you be? Where you be? You be somewhere over here. Guys, I lost him. Oh no. He's not even on the board anymore. And then, sad news that we'll get into, but in honor of Betty White, gotta love that Betty. The world is a darker place. I have another Oh Snap Crafters Cafe base with the, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got the, come on, focus. Anyway, it's got our lovely golden girls on there, as well as I made this into a cover minder. It was a keychain of the lovely Betty White that I just put a magnet behind it and it sticks. So Betty will be hanging out with us, right? Okay, so let's see. Also, before I start, just a little plug. I did want to let you know I am a Treasure Studios art affiliate. You use the code Naomi15 at checkout, you can save yourself 15% off of any order over $40. I do also have a Buy Me a Coffee. I will have everything I'm using down in the description box. The painting I'm working on, I think it's like Beach Girl. I got it at, I think, Amazon. If not Amazon, then some budget-friendly company, and I'll find it and have it linked down in the description box down below as well. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, how are you guys doing? Let's start that off, right? Again, there I go. I should start that off from the beginning. I am so rude. Please ignore my manners. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, had a wonderful week. I've had a busy week, we shall say. It has been busy. So, let's see. Oh, my bad. Happy New Year. My goodness gracious. Again, I'm horrible with my manners. I'm trying to teach myself. Bear with me, you know. And until then, just ignore my rude behind. Just know that I mean well. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to last year, shall we? Okay. So now we're back to Thursday, last week of last year. And what did I do? I woke up on my couch. Why? I don't know why. I guess I fell asleep on my couch Wednesday night. And when I say like, oh, my body, and I still feel it like in between, like right below my shoulder blades and my middle back, like me and the couch, yeah, we don't get along, you know what I mean? Like we can tolerate each other, you know, for short periods of time, but if I lay down and go to sleep, that couch is like, we're gonna remind her how old she is, you know, plus 10 years when she wakes up. And it sure did, because I mean, and I'm not old. I'm only 40 years old, but I can't be falling asleep on the couch anymore because my body does not like it. It's like, no, nope, you better go take your butt to bed. Yeah, so that was fun. That was fun. Oh, how could I forget? So it's Thursday evening, and I'm watching Jenny, the Uncrafty Crafter. She is also the owner of Oh Snap Crafters Cafe. Go check her out. I have her link down below. So Thursday night she goes live, and she's on her live, and she's talking about this bidet, right? Next thing I know, I'm on Amazon, you know, looking up bidets. They got a lot of them. So I didn't bite the bullet, but I'm wondering if any of you guys that were in Jenny's live, you know, did any of you guys order a bidet? You know, because between her and Ruby, they like sold it. Like it was like the next best thing, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I might have to get me one of them fancy, you know, butt sprayers. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday. If I do, could you imagine? I'd be like, guys, I sat on the toilet and it sprayed water up my bunghole. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I was definitely looking at them, and some of them, you know, are reasonably priced, and then there's some that I'm like, good golly, Miss Molly, does it have like a little butler that comes out and like blow dries my tushy and wipes it for me? Because that's a lot of money. But yeah, so that's what I did on Thursday. And then on Friday I was off from work, which was nice. The last Christmas week and last week, you know, it was nice. I didn't work a full week. This is my first full week back to work, and I'm not sure how much I'm liking it. And we are only on Wednesday. You guys will see this Thursday. I recorded on Wednesday, so yeah, like I can't with some people. I really can't, and we'll get into that as well. So, I lost the drill. Where'd you go? Over here. Alrighty. So now my next color. Bear with me, guys. You know what? I think I'm just going to grab a hole because this is going to turn confetti heavy where I'm going to be stopping constantly. But, so, yeah, Friday I was off of work, and I decided I was going to go to Hobby Lobby. What was I going to Hobby Lobby for? Oh, I think I was going to go see if they had the wooden balls that I use for making the gnomes that I use for the nose. And of course they didn't have them. I even asked, and so, but yeah, I went to Hobby Lobby. I got a couple things from Hobby Lobby. I didn't do as bad as what I thought I could have done. It was under $100. So, I mean, for me, going into Hobby Lobby and spending less than $100, Like, I don't know, the good Lord himself was like, girl, you just stop. Just stop. Because, yeah, that does not happen all that often where I'm like, woohoo! I think I even told the lady at the register. I was like, are you sure? Did you ring everything up? And she's like, well, some of your stuff, you know, was discounted off, blah, blah. I'm like, it's a good thing I didn't know that when I picked it up, because I would have been getting more. Anybody else do that? You see, like, it's like 40% off. And, like, I mean, there's some people out there that are like, ooh, 40% off. I'll save 40%. And they'll just get the one. Oh, no, not me. Not me. Nope. I see, you know, like 15% or 20, 50, you know, 60, whatever sale they're doing. And I'm like, oh, that means I can get more. Like, who else is with me? Tell me I'm not the only one that, like, when you see, you know, like a certain percentage off, your brain doesn't go, oh, that means I can get more. It's a bad downfall that I'm trying to work on. I haven't really succeeded too much at it. I mean, sometimes I'm good. Sometimes, but most of the time, yeah. But every once in a while, I'm like, you don't need it. You don't need it. You just want it, and I can talk myself out of it. But most of the time, when I do the you don't need it, you just want it, the little voice inside my head tells me to shut up and stop being so negative and let me just enjoy it. Yeah, it's crazy up there, y'all. It is crazy. Let's see, what else? I went to Hobby Lobby. What did I do? I painted. So I got this like wooden gnome, and I got some like paint markers, and I painted the gnome, and he turned out okay. I don't really know if I like his color of hat that I chose for him, so I might paint that over, because I mean, he's cute and all, but he's not jumping out giving me that, you know, like, wow, you're adorable effect. He's just I don't know, maybe he's like the second cousin twice removed, you know what I mean, down the family tree that, you know, fell out and was collecting the acorns at the bottom. I don't know, but all I know is he's not doing it for me. So like I said, I think it's the color I chose for his hat, so I don't know. I gotta figure out what color I want to paint his hat, because yeah, it's just not. And then I also did a not a paint by number, good gravy. I did a color by number. It was like they had it near like the diamond paintings, because I was looking at the ABs, because I was thinking about, because over here it doesn't look, well, I don't know, maybe you can see it, but the wording, like, now when you're far away, obviously you can read it, but the white wording, not the teal wording down here, obviously you can see that, but these white wordings, like, they use different colors and it's just pixelated. So I'm gonna probably, I don't know, maybe this weekend or sometime next week, go and get like white ABs and pop all these out, and you know, so it stands out, and kind of fix it a little bit, so it's, yeah, because it's driving me bonkers. I also heard, you know, the sad passing of our lovely Betty White. So now, in honor of Betty White, instead of saying 2022, no, we will now refer to this year as 20 Betty 2, right? Yes. So, I also, there's like a thing going around, you guys might have seen it, where, you know, she loved animals, and she was a big animal advocate, and they're saying like on her 100th birthday, You know, it would be cool, like, if her fans just donated $5 to, like, any animal shelter, you know, like, in her name. So, there's an animal shelter right down the street from me. I plan on doing that. So, yeah, what was her birthday? She would have been 100. I believe it was January 17th. If I'm doing that right. But, yeah, when I saw that Betty White died, like, I was just like, well, that, like, just took a big poo-poo on my New Year's Eve. Like, it just, I don't know. I grew up watching the Golden Girls, and I remember, like, being in my late teens, early 20s, and my friends would come over, and I would be watching the Golden Girls on, like, Lifetime or some, I don't know, some TV channel. And, I mean, like, they were popular, but not really with, like, people my age. And people would come over and they're like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's the Golden Girls. I'm like, it's freaking hilarious. And yeah, it's a sad, sad day. The world doesn't, I don't know, the world just doesn't feel right without Betty White in it. It's just darker. And I dumped all them beads out for one. Right now, watch. I'm going to put these away, guys. And I guarantee you, out will pop another G. Right? And be like, just joking. But yeah. Like I said, this is like major confetti going on right here. At least in this section. Oh, God. I feel like I'm going to... Excuse me. I need to get a drink. I was like, have you ever been talking and, like, your spit almost goes down the wrong pipe? Yeah, that just happened to me. If that doesn't happen to you, then I don't know. I guess I just have a special talent. Maybe I'm special. God decided to build me that way. I'm not 100% sure. So, yeah, so that was basically my New Year's Eve. Oh, no. So, I don't know. You know, a couple whipping chats ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, I was doing a whipping chat in my living room, and the music was playing. Yeah, so those neighbors decided that on New Year's Eve, they were going to start setting fireworks off at 6:30 at night. It's not even dark here. But, you know, like, I just kind of, like, let it go. And was like, you know, it might be, you know, like, for kids. Because, you know, how sometimes, you know, kids want to see the fireworks and da-da-da. So, parents will, like, set them off early. So, I'm like, don't be a ball buster, Naomi. You know what I mean? Like, let the kids enjoy it. Tell me why these mofos, right? So, from, like, 6:30 to 1 a.m., they were setting off freaking fireworks. Like, I go to take the dog out, and you stepped outside, and it was so foggy from all the smoke from these fireworks just going off, like, for so many hours. It was nuts. Then they continued to play their music until, you know, the wee hours of the morning. That was fun because my bedroom is in, like, the back, and it faces in the direction of their house. Yeah. And then, so before I went to sleep on Friday, in my crock pot, I made pork and sauerkraut. I put it on low, and what I do is I, you know, take a pork loin and dump it in there, throw some seasoning in there, toss your sauerkraut on top. Then what I do is I take some apple juice and I pour apple juice in there, and then I'll take a little bit of applesauce and maybe, like, I don't know, 2-3, you know, decent sized tablespoons, and dump it in there, kind of mix it around, turn it on and let it simmer. So yeah, so on Saturday I woke up and the pork and sauerkraut was done, so I turned that off. The neighbors were playing their music again. I was like, did you guys go to sleep? Like, and I don't mean to sound, you know what I mean, like a party pooper, but it's just like, it's annoying. It is so freaking annoying. And the cops are there all the dang time. Like, all the dang time. I'm just like, can we just do something? So, yeah. So, I'm like, I don't know. Was the planes flying over worse, or the people that like to blare their music so loud that, you know, I can hear it from across the street from the development I live in? Because like I said, they're not in my development. They are not in my development. Like, here's my development. Here's like the little, it's almost like a long driveway that like turns. So if you don't have the gate code and you can't get through the gate, you can at least turn your butt around and go out. So like the long driveway, then there's the road. These people live right here on the other side of the road. Like, it's, and for as loud as they play their music, like I said, I'll be in my living room and I can hear it, and it drives me bananas, because it happens all the time. I'm like, I don't mind loud music, you know, here and there, but when it's like every freaking weekend, just because the day ends in Y, yeah, like I can't do it. Please, no. And yeah, but Roscoe did okay with the fireworks. They don't really, I don't know, he's not really like, he doesn't bark at them, he's not afraid of them. So I guess like I lucked out there. I don't know, maybe he's just used to loud noises. You know, he does live with me. I'm not always, you know, a quiet little peach. Let's see. Oh, my aunt. So everybody and their mother kept calling me, because I usually have the keys to, well, I mean, now I have them back again, but I'm usually the one that, like, I have a spare key to everything. You know what I mean? Like, so when my aunt and uncle can't find something, they call me up and they're like, hey, Nay, do you have the keys to this? And my aunt calls me up on Saturday. I don't even know my days. My aunt called me up. And she was like, I need the spare key to the camper. I'm like, I don't have the spare key. I'm like, I don't even think I have any spare keys, because what happens is, you know, I get asked, hey, Nay, I need the key to this. Hey, Nay, I need the spare key to this. Hey, Nay, I can't find the key to this. Do you have the spare? So I give them the spare, but I don't get the key back. But then when they need it, I get asked for the spare. So I'm like, I'm trying to explain to her, like, I don't have it. Finally, I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm just going to get in my car. I'm just going to drive in there. I'm going to unlock the safe. And I'm going to show you, like, I don't have the keys. So, yeah. I wish I wouldn't have done that, because what turned into what I thought I would probably be gone, you know, like at the most like an hour, you know, drive there, you know, BS maybe for like a couple minutes, drive home. Yeah, no, turned into quite a few hours of an affair. Like, there was painters there, and first, like, I walked in and my office door was open, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why is my office door open? Because when I'm not there, like, the back door that leads outside to my office is locked. The door that leads, like, out onto, like, the enclosed porch that leads into the house, like, that's locked. Like, and it was wide open, and I'm like, why? Who? How? Like, how did you get in there? And I go in, and the painter has like all this stuff pushed in the middle. I was irritated, because had I known that like the painters were coming, you know what I mean, I would have on Thursday, the last day I was there, like put more stuff away, not you know what I mean? I would have pulled the desk out, because if you unplug something and I can't figure it out, like, I'm calling y'all, and I'll be like, nah, you moved it, you figure it out. Like, or you tell my uncle why I can't work and why I can't get stuff done. I'll wait. You tell me how that goes over. I don't think it's going to go over too well, but I'll wait. So yeah, so that turned into me running to the Home Depot. And the thing is, the Home Depot is literally like not even half a mile away from my freaking house. It's like the next light up. Where I work, and like my aunt and uncle's, is about 10-15 minutes going the other direction. So I had to drive from their house, literally go past my house, go to the Home Depot, and my aunt wanted to change the locks on the door. It's just the whole freaking a hot mess, and I knew it was going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm just not an asshole and say, I told you so. But, yeah. It happened. So now all the locks have to be changed in the house, and so she buys these like 3 locks, and she's like, I don't want to have 3 separate, keys to, to all the doors to the outside. And I'm like, well, these 2 are the same number, so they have the same key. I'm like, but this one is not. And she was like, oh, she's like, well, we'll take it to Home Depot and tell them, to make it all one. I'm like, what? So I go to Home Depot. That was fun. I've been to Home Depot more times this week. Well, I think it was only twice, but still, more times this week than I went to Home Depot last year, okay? And I've gone there twice this week. I don't really go to Home Depot. But, so I go to Home Depot, I'm asking, I probably talked to like 6 different associates until the one, well, no, there was a lady at the pro desk. She was really nice. She called over, and after I was like standing there for like 5 minutes, she was like, just, she's like, come with me. So I follow her, and she finds the guy I guess she talked to on the phone that was in that department. And she was like, well, the lady's right here, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I said I'd be there. I was with the customer. And I'm thinking, damn, dude, like, who the hell pissed in your freaking Cheerios? Like, that's cool. Like, take care of your customer. He didn't wind up helping me because he couldn't do it. So then he passed me off to some other guy, and he couldn't do it. But there was a lady who could do it, but she was on break, so I had to wait for her to get done her break. It was just a hot mess, but they were able to like change the locks, or the tumblers in the locks or whatnot, so that it's all the same key. So I come back, and I changed, 3 doorknobs and 3 deadbolts. So I did that. I got done that. I'm trying to leave, and my aunt's like, oh, we need diet soda. So they want Diet Pepsi. So I'm like, all right, I'll get it. But then, like, I have to go. So I go to the 7-Eleven, which is right around the corner from the house. Tell me why they don't have Diet Pepsi, right? Nope. They have Diet Coke, not Diet Pepsi. So I'm like, what the hell? And I'm trying to, like, find something that's, like, close to the house. Because there's, like, a grocery store, but it's almost like I'm driving halfway to my house and then having to turn back and head the other. Like, I was over it at that point. So the 7-Eleven doesn't have it. I get in my car. I go to, I'm like, ooh, the dollar store, or the Dollar Tree, or Dollar General. I don't freaking know. They got so many. They have the Dollar General, the Dollar Tree, the Dollar Store, and Dollar Mania down here. And, like, they're all not that far away from each other, right? I don't understand it. Why do we need so many dollar stores? Oh, we also have the Family Dollar. How could I forget about that? Yep, so there's the Family Dollar. There's my ugly mug. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, then I'm good. So yeah, so they didn't have it. Or no, they had it, but they also wanted something else, and I forget, and they didn't have it. So guess what I did? I ran to the Winn-Dixie to the supermarket where I should have just gone in the first place, grabbed what I needed, came back. I called one of the kids and I'm like, meet me out in the driveway. I'm like, I'm not going back in. I'm like, because at this point I had been there like 4 or 5 hours, and I was like, and again, this was only supposed to be like a half an hour to an hour tops. You know what I mean? That I was just going to be like, look, I don't have the camper keys. I do not have them. Learn my lesson. I won't do that again. I'll just give you the freaking combination to the safe and you can figure it out for yourself that I don't have the keys. Oh. And then, so one of my exes leaves me this like freaking message because now, first off, me and him have not been together in 3, almost 4 years. And when I say this dude is like a freaking like narcissist, like when we broke up, like I told him, I was like, this isn't gonna work. You're a narcissist. And he was like, what does that mean? And I was like, fucking Google it. Because that's where I was at with him. Like, if I had like, now he would always like say this was like a phone. When we were together, he would always turn his phone over like that. Now, if I turned my phone, and it wouldn't be like intentional, it was just I just set my phone down, he'd be like, well, why is your phone facing down? What, are you trying to hide something? Da-da-da. He'd be like, oh, you can leave stuff at my house, you know what I mean? So, like, he's like, yeah, he's like, you know, like, leave, like, your toothbrush and some hair stuff so you don't have to always bring it with you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, because I lived, like, 40 minutes to an hour away from him. And so the first time I do it, the next day he calls me and he was like, you left your stuff at my house. Like, he was just, oh, like, if I got upset about something and I tried to tell him how I was feeling, he would tell me I was being petty and, oh, that's stupid, and I don't put up with it. Like, I'm like, gone. Like, I'm out. Like, I will be out faster than a light bulb on a freaking Christmas string, and good luck finding me, because when I'm done, like, I'm done. Like, you're not gonna get a hold of me, you're not gonna associate with me unless I want you to. Because when I say I give people like chance after chance where other people would walk away, like when I'm done and I go off, like you had it coming. Like, you had it coming for a long time. So yeah, so he, I guess on Christmas or whatnot, and for a little bit, he's been like sending me messages. Now, this isn't the same ex as a couple weeks or a couple months ago that I was talking about. This is a totally different ex. And yeah, like, he'll send me like things about like boxing fights and stuff because he knows I like them. But I'm like, I'm not responding, you know what I mean? Like, I think like 2 years ago, I responded one time, and it was like right around when like I first moved to Florida. He sent me a message, and he's like, oh, you know, like, hey, how are you? You know, like the fights are coming up, we should get together. And I'm like, you know, I moved to Florida, right? Yeah, I know, but you know, you can still come up here, like the F I can. Like, no. I don't think you understand. Like, if we go to a fight together, it's gonna be me and you getting in the ring, buddy. I'm like, cause I'm done with your ish. Like, see you later. Bye, Felicia. But yeah, so he sent me a message on Christmas, I think, just saying like Merry Christmas, or you know, some I don't know, stupid freaking reindeer game, something like that. And I didn't respond to him. So on Saturday, on Facebook Messenger, he sends me like a voice message, like something like, you know, like, I don't know what I did to you, and you know, it's really rude that, you know, you don't even respond to me. I don't even know why I'm sending this, because you're probably not going to respond to me. Like, I don't know what I ever did to you. Most people, you know, when somebody sends them a message, you know, saying Merry Christmas, most effing people will respond back, but no, not you. like, just his normal BS that I got freaking tired of. And I was just like, okay. Like, you want to play little childish, stupid games, you're going to win a grand prize, top most stupidest prize. Like, I'm going to blast you on YouTube. Like, there you go. He's lucky I'm not using his name. But, yeah. Like, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm freaking just done. Like, I'm sorry if I haven't responded to you in over 2 years. What makes you think by sending me a Merry Christmas that I'm going to respond? And he even was like, you know I can see your messages. You know I can see when you look at them, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, good for you. Do you want a freaking cookie? Do you feel special? Did your mom not love you enough when you were a child? Is that your problem? Do you have mommy issues? I'm telling you, like, I don't put up with a lot of BS anymore. Like, I really don't. I've put up with too much BS in my 20s and in my, like, early 30s that I don't have time for it. I really freaking don't. And I won't acknowledge you. But like I said, if he keeps his crap up, he's gonna get a mouthful from me. Let's see. So Sunday, I was more or less like lazy. I was eating some pork and sauerkraut. And yeah, it was really more of it. Let me see. It went to a new month, you know, because now we're going, well, we were already in the new year, but yeah, no. I got to flip to January, we're out of December, the whole blah, 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 blah. So Monday, you know, I went back to work after not being at work for, you know, a couple days, and I'm like, nah, I need another day from having off so many days, and I'm going to need another day after that, right? Tell me, like, if any of you had off for, you know, like, New Year's or, like, and then, like, the next day when you got to go back into work, you're like, do I really need this job? Like, I don't need this place that I live, like the car I drive. I don't need to eat. I can just lay here in bed. You know, it gets cold. Well, it don't get cold in Florida. Well, I lied. It gets cold, but not like cold. I think the lowest I've seen it drop down to in the 2 years that I have lived here, I think it went down to like 46 degrees. Yeah. But normally, I mean, and that's like at night. That's not during the day. I think during the day, the lowest I have ever seen it was like the high 60s, maybe low 70s. Because, yeah, it might be cold in the morning for a little bit, but then come the afternoon, it warms right up. And then, like, crazy freaking drivers here in Florida. Well, they're not even from Florida. This is, like, I'd say 9 out of 10 of them, like, are not Florida tags. So on Monday, I went to the bank to go, you know, deposit everyone's check. And the lobby was closed, and so was the drive-thru. So I drive to this other Wells Fargo, and I'm turning on this highway, and it's like a 3-lane highway, but when you go to turn, it's 4 lanes. Now I know, don't be in this lane because it ends where I need to turn, which is like half a mile up. I need to make a right. Yeah, I know my left and right's right, left. Right, I need to make a right. That, you know, let me just stay in this lane. And then there's like 2 other lanes, like the middle lane and the fast lane. So the car in front of me as we're turning gets into like the middle lane. So there's still 2 other lanes over here. And like I said, like, you don't get into this lane because it ends. So I turn into this lane. So we're driving along, and this mofo just decides not even gonna look, gonna like try to like push me over. Like, I honked my horn. I probably called that mother effer every name in the book and back again and made up some, right? I was done. And then, so that was like going to the bank on Monday. You know, I make it back to work unscathed, or at least not too bad of idiot drivers being around me. And on my way home from work, so I turn at this stop sign, and there's like an alleyway a little bit down further on the road. This freaking truck like doesn't even stop, and it's not like he couldn't see me. I mean, like, you could see me coming. And this truck just like, and I'm like this, right? And he like comes out and pushes me over. Thank goodness nobody was coming this way, because it was either let him freaking T-bone me or quick get into the other lane, you know. I can't with these stupid freaking drivers. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Now, I don't know if the person that like almost T-boned me on my way home on Monday, if they had Florida tags. They probably did, because I don't know why you would be coming down that alley if you don't. But yeah, so then, you know, that was my Monday, and I came home and was just like, I'm not going out until I have to leave for work on Tuesday. There are too many damn idiots out on the road. Like, I can't do it. So Tuesday, I go to work. We got a check in the mail. And now, when I was driving into work on Tuesday morning, I saw, like, my gas light had come on. And it said I had, like, I don't know, I think maybe, like, 36 miles till empty. And I'm like, I'm good, you know what I mean? Like, I can make it to work, and then just on my lunch break, or because I never know if a check's gonna come in. Like, I know Mondays, I mean, definitely Mondays I'm going to the bank unless it's a holiday. Definitely Mondays I'm going to the bank. 9 out of 10 times I'm going to the bank on Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's like a hit or miss, right? So we got to check in, and I'm like, all right, you know, like, let me go to the bank, go to deposit this. So I get in my car, and I'm like, oh, I need to get gas. So I go down the road, and I'm like, well, I'll go to the bank first before I get gas. Well, as I'm going to the bank, I don't know what happened. Like, if it's like after it drops below like 31 miles, because I swore it said 31 miles to empty. And then the next thing I know, it's got ... miles to empty. It's not even telling me how many miles I have left to go. And I'm like, well, obviously the lobby's closed because you could see the line. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to sit in this drive-through line and have this, you know, my car run out of gas. Let me go get gas first, and then I'll come back to the bank. So I drive to the gas station. I pull up to the pump. Tell me why my wallet was not in my purse. You want to know why it was not in my purse? Because I freaking ordered Scentsy stuff the night before, and I didn't put it back in there. So now I'm like, crap. I'm like, I don't have my wallet. I don't have any cash on me. I'm like, I need freaking gas. So I'm kind of like, should I drive home? I'm like, and see if my wallet is at home? Or should I drive back to the office and see, maybe, because I take 2 bags into work. I have my purse, and then I have this other bag that just, like, my makeup bag, drinks and food and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I threw it in the wrong bag. And I'm like, well, you know what? Work is closer. Let me go back to work. So I go back to work. It's not there. But my aunt's there, and I'm like, you know, hey, can I borrow like $20 from you just to throw on my gas tank, you know, so I can, I'm like, I'll give it right back to you. So she gave me 20 bucks and I quickly ran and put gas in my car. I then went to the bank and yeah, it was like starting to wrap around and I was like, screw it. Like, I'm just going to sit in here. It'll move pretty quickly. It didn't move. I sat there for 10 minutes and I was like, you know what? At this point, I could have driven to the other freaking bank. I'm like, and if I sat here for 10 minutes, I'm like, I guarantee you I could drive to that other bank, deposit the check, and drive back and still get back to work before I'm done at this drive-through. So I'm like, okay. So I go and do that. And then I also had to, from there, before I left, my aunt was like, oh, I need you to go to the Home Depot. Which, you know, at this point, I don't mind because I was literally, like, getting the gas, going to the bank, running to my house, you know, to grab my wallet because I wanted to get something to eat and all that. So the Home Depot is literally less than half a mile up the road from me. So I'm like, all right, when I swing home, I'll just grab my wallet, run to Home Depot, get these bins. Y'all. So I walk into the Home Depot and I'm like, I don't even know, does Home Depot carry bins? I'm like, so I'm walking, go in the door, I go down this way. I'm like walking up and down the aisles. I'm reading the signs. I'm like, hardware, lumber, electric, da-da-da. I'm like, okay, so it's not in here. It's not in here. But I'm still, you know, like looking down the aisles just in case. I don't see no freaking bins. So I'm like, okay, well, there's a garden center at this Home Depot. I'm like, I bet you these dirty mofos have them bins outside in the garden center. So I walk out into the garden center. I walk around the garden center. There ain't no bins. So I'm like, all right. So I come out the garden center and I walk down here and I see like where they have like trash cans. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's around here. So I'm walking, I'm going up and down the aisle. Why is it when I get to the last aisle near the door that I walked into, when I walked in that door, if I just would have looked to the freaking right of me, that's where the Rubbermaid bins were. So I probably spent about, I don't know, a good 30 minutes walking around Home Depot looking like a lost puppy or lost child that had lost their mom, not knowing what they're doing. And there ain't no hot dudes at Home Depot either. Maybe I need to go to Lowe's and like wander around. You know, but then again, I don't even know if I want to be picking up a Florida guy. Like, there are no around here. I'm just saying, all right? Yeah. And then, so I got them. I struggle with them because, you know, I think just because I could carry these 5 Rubbermaid containers, you know, from the door to the register, which wasn't far, and put it down on the counter, that, yeah, that I could carry it from, you know, the register out over to my car, you know, and me, I'm like, let's get some exercise. Let's park all the way down here. So we have to walk to get to the store. That way we're getting our steps in and we're getting some exercise in the process, right? I don't know if I'm going to be doing that again. No. Or even make sure I grab a cart. So I'm like struggling with these bins, trying to like, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, yes. So then I went back to work, dropped them off, did a couple of things at work, and by that time it was time for me to go. I went home, hung out with Mr. Roscarooney. He's a pain in my batootie. But, yeah. And then today, I got up, I went to work, and, oh, you know what? Let me back up. So yesterday, I'm talking to my one boss, and I'm like, you know, I told him everything I did, and I'm like, and this sounds really funny. I'm like, I know it wasn't a lot. I'm like, but like, I'm freaking like exhausted. I mean, like, it was like, it hit me out of like nowhere where I was like, I am freaking like tired. I feel like I've been up all night partying and I need to get some sleep. And yeah, like, it was bad. Like, I was like, and I told him, I was like, I really hope I'm not getting sick. Because one of the guys at work is actually not feeling well. And I'm like, you better tell him to stay the hell away from me. Like, if he needs to pick up checks, like, I'll put him in a slingshot and tell him to roll down his truck door, and I'll just fling him in the window. Like, no need to get anywhere near me having to remotely breathe in the same air as you. No. Nope. I don't want to get sick. So, yeah. And it was funny because my boss was like, you know what? He's like, the same thing. He's like, just like out of nowhere. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's exactly it. And I'm like, and I was exhausted. Now, like, today I woke up and I wound up going to bed earlier than I usually do last night. And this morning I woke up and I was, like, still tired. Like, I feel better now. I don't even think there's any of this color. I'm a ding-dong, and I pulled out a bag that I don't even need the color for. Right? Dear Lord, baby. Jesus, take the wheel, because I don't know what in the good gravy I'm doing. So, but yeah, so I got up and I went to work. And I pushed through. And I got some of the end of the year stuff done. But when I say, like, supply yards, me and supply yards. So I dealt with our current supply yard today and our old supply yard that, like, we haven't used in about 2 years. Almost 2 years now. So I get an email, and the guy emailed it to me after I had left for work. And basically saying, like, there was a lien on this property, like a mechanic's lien on this property, you know, that we did drywall for this job and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? I'm like, we didn't put a lien on your property? And I'm like, and that property is from, we did that job back in 2019. The old supply yard, and this is one of the reasons why we, like, stopped using this supply yard. So, and in construction, if you're familiar with construction at all, it was like they gave you 30 days to pay your invoice. Well, here's the thing. You build the builder, and the builder usually won't pay you. Like, you're lucky if you get the money from the builder within the first 30 days. Sometimes it's 60 days. So, and this supply yard was like, nope. So if they didn't have it and it was 1 day past 30 days, they put a lien out. I mean, and when I say, like, they lost a lot of business doing this, because honestly, I mean, I wish that's how the construction world worked. Like, I wish it'd be like, okay, I build you, and 30 days from now, you're going to give me the money so I can pay the bills that are like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some builders we have that do that, and I love them. Love them. We'll jump through hoops for them. So, yeah, there was a mechanic's lien on a job that we did back in 2019 that we had paid for. Like, it was paid for, so I'm like, it should, even if you put the lien on it, you should have taken that off. Well, here this lady was going to try to refinance her home, and they wouldn't let her do it because, like, I felt bad, you know, and this is a builder that we still do work for. And he, like, emailed me, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm not sure, you know, why. He's like, you guys were paid in full. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure as to why either, considering that job was 2 years ago and that's been paid, but let me look into it. So, you know, I reached out to our very old supply yard, got that taken care of, got the set, because she was even like, yeah, no, you guys are doing, you know, we haven't done any work with you guys. And I'm like, yeah, because you're a bunch of freaking ninny-poos. But yeah, so I dealt with that. I got that. And then there was, with our current supply yard that we use, that they're cool. they give you, I think we're on like a 90-day, where basically, you know, if they load a job and we don't pay them within 90 days, they'll lien the property, you know, and it's like, look, hey, at that point, if we haven't paid you, like, go for it. That's because, you know, we're probably in the process of liening that person too, because they didn't pay us. But for the most part, we used to have builders like that, and for the most part, we don't deal with them shady individuals anymore, except this one dude who I just want to get his final freaking payments from him and be done. And I told my boss, I'm like, you do another job for him, you can collect the money from him, because I'm not doing it. And yeah, because I even asked when I had to load the job, I'm like, why are we doing work for this a-hole? Like, do you remember? Like, yeah, no, you just remember sending the guys. I'm like, you don't know the BS that this guy, like, because he'll sit there and tell my boss one thing, but then when he calls me, it's a totally different freaking story. Yeah. I can't stand the mofo. But, yeah, so I requested a release of liens, like you know, just to let the builder know, like to show him, like, look, here's, you know, the final release from the supply yard, so you know we paid the supply yard, blah, 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 blah. And a couple hours later back, I get a partial release back. Now, what a partial is, it's meaning it's not a final. It's saying, like, we've partially paid the bill. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, there's only one freaking invoice for this job. So I emailed the lady back right away, and I'm like, can you explain to me why I only got a partial and not a final? And she was like, I'm like, you know, as that's the only invoice that I show for that job. And she gets back to me, and she's like, yeah, she's like, that's because, you know, there's like an invoice. It was like $148 or $144. That literally, now this is like, and when I figured this part out and what happened, I was not nice in the email back to her. So I received this invoice from them today at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? And it was billed to my company with my company's address, which means it's a shop purchase, right? So this invoice that she gives me, I go to look up, you know, because I'm like, well, maybe I don't have it just yet, you know, like, let me see, did I maybe by accident fat finger and put the wrong job, like you signed, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking it's me. Oh, honey, no, it ain't me. It was not me. So I look it up, and I was like, okay, well, this was picked up 1/4. That was yesterday. So I'm like, you know, well, let me, and I pull it, you know, and I pull the file, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's shop. It has nothing to do, says nothing anywhere on their invoice with this builder's name, the address that she's now saying this invoice goes to. So me being the BIM, oh honey, you know I did it. I scanned that invoice that I received. I emailed it to her saying, okay, you know, I see what happened. So basically, this invoice, you guys billed it to our shop. So I put it under shop. Nowhere does it say anything with this builder and this job address. I'm like, and I received it today at 3 a.m. I'm like, so, you know, how did what this invoice says at 3 a.m. change from like 2:30 in the afternoon? Like, please tell me. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, and please, you know, going forward, can you let your billing people know that, you know, don't bill things to the wrong address. Make sure it's the correct one, because if you bill it to Pinnacle Drywall, I'm like, I'm going to put it under shop. I'm like, And I'm like, and it now has me questioning how many other shop invoices have I received that you guys have changed the, you know, the job names on that I'm not aware of. And I sent it. I haven't heard shit from her. You better look into that, because I'm not the one. I mean, like I said, like, I get, hey, you know, people make mistakes. Like, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like, if you notice, like, oh, hey, shoot, you know what I mean? Like, I keyed in the wrong thing. I assigned it to this, and it should be this, and you've already sent the invoice out, and you need to, like, change the date on it. Not the date, the, you know, like, the job address. Like, that's cool. But shoot me a message letting me know, like, hey, invoice number, we have the company's address on it, you know, and the company's, you know, name, but it wasn't supposed to go there. It's actually for, you know, this builder, this job address. You know, we screwed up. Hey, no problem. I've been there. I've done it myself. We're all human, right? But don't go and change things. And then, no. Nope. But, yeah. With that said, guys, I'm over here running my mouth for about an hour now, a little over an hour. I'm going to jump out of here. If you're new to the channel and you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time, guys.